What happens when you give marketers permission to fail? Could a single PPC landing page overhaul beat a year of trade show spent? And if it's possible that a sales team have been driving blind until one data obsessive wired every click straight into their pipeline, then you need to stay tuned as we go into the mind of a marketing guru, because today's guest has proof. My next guest is Jon Dytor, Head of Digital Marketing at Close Brothers Asset Finance and a Salesforce certified marketing mastermind. For the past 13 years, he's been the calm architect behind the multi-million merchant bank's digital engine, building customer portals on Experience Cloud, slashing external agency costs, and turning half-baked marketing ideas into rigorously tracked revenue streams. But titles and trophies don't capture Jon's real superpower. So hit the subscribe button, grab a notebook, and let's dive into the mind of a man who turned experimentation into Close Brothers' secret sauce. Let's go. So hi Jon, and welcome to the Salesforce Posse Podcast. We're here at London's Calling.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you've just completed, or earlier in the day, you did a marketing talk around your marketing cycle and best practices around that, which I think was super useful. I came in at the end and you had a crowd of people asking you questions, so I think it went down well.
I think so, yeah.
But while you're here, what's been your favourite thing at London's Calling so far?
Oh gosh, I'll be honest, the massage. It's been a stressful few days.
Yeah, cool. Well,
No, it's been a few good talks. Actually, I mean, I went to the event last night. Met a few other speakers. I really like how you've got the marketing track. So you've got all these talks. I've spent most of my day in that room. And that's quite nice. Most events don't always have a marketing
specific.
So that's been quite nice, just to meet other people who are using Salesforce but for marketing. So I've just nice meeting lots of other marketers, really.
Okay, so what I wanted to pick your brains with is you've done such a great job of kind of connecting marketing to sales to ROI to understand that whole cycle around how we do this. A lot of companies have these kind of the pain point of connecting marketing to sales and getting the right data back. What is your kind of methodology around that? Where do you start? Where do you
start with that?
Yeah, no.
Wow, methodology.
A big question.
I'd like to say there was a methodology. It was effectively, from a marketing point of view, is where I came about it first. It was, we didn't have any data that we could really use to go, what's working, what isn't. So it was a case of, we're doing this marketing activity. So if I go back years, I mean, I've been with Close Brothers now, come up to 13 years.
Oh, wow, yeah.
If I go back to the beginning, a lot of our marketing strategy was very much influenced by the sales team telling us what they think we should be doing, what events we should go to, where we should advertise, what we should do, which in some respects is fine. A lot of the sales team, they're very knowledgeable about their individual sectors, their industries, and we would lead on that. But I always had that sort of, we just don't know, because we do this activity and then business comes in, but there was never a connector between it. So what we decided to do was say, right, any activity we do has to be tracked now. How do we track it? So that's where it came from, is starting to track it. And since we've done that, we found that actually, I'd say a lot of the activity we used to do is definitely relevant, but there are things that we've gone, actually, we don't need to do that, or maybe not as much. And we can rein it in and do more of other activities. We found for ourselves that a lot of our advertising on search engines is actually one of our biggest drivers for a couple of our businesses, but actually the budget didn't reflect that. Whereas a lot of the things were maybe face-to-face events, they were adamant was the main thing for them. Turns out wasn't the case. So we've actually adjusted the budgets now accordingly, and we've seen things increase. So, and I think once you have that data, it's a much easier conversation to go to the sales teams, to the directors, and say, look, if we spend money here, we know it generates more because we've got that proof now. So it was kind of slow but sure, but we just did a bit at a time. But as we started to collect the correct, accurate data of a lead comes in, and we know where that lead came from, and when that lead converts, and we know that all of the information is stored with it from opportunity all the way back to initial inquiry, it's really simple for us to go, right, we know where we should spend our efforts. So yeah, that's kind of how it came about. But it it came about from we had no information, no data, and we just wanted to spend more wisely, I'd say.
If you could start from scratch today, would there be anything you'd do differently?
In terms of the process we took, probably. I'd say where we've got to is really quite strong. I'd say where we are now is kind of where we want to be. There was, I remember back when we started using Pardot, Pardot used to have these things, the custom URLs, where if you clicked on the URL, it could populate the UTMs, and we thought, great, that solved our problem here for tracking source, medium, campaign. Until we realised that only works if the person is logged in when they click the URL. Well, most of our adverts, you're not logged in before, so I was like, that doesn't work at all. So we spent a lot of time trying to get that to work, and in the end we went, give up on that, it's not going to work at all. But I think it's a lot of those things where you trial and error. Likewise, a lot of our reporting we do through the CRM Analytics. When we got access to that, it was very much just trial and error. It was during lockdown that we first got access to that, and I was just sort of building dashboards, watching YouTube videos, trying to work it out, until I realised that Salesforce actually offer a 3-day free intensive training. I went on the training course and realised that maybe 50% of what I was doing was right, but the other 50% wasn't right. So it's things like that where it's like, okay, if I'd have known more at the time. But saying that though, that's part of the journey. Where we've got to, I think we're in a position where it's quite strong. There's not really any activity we do now in marketing that we don't know what it generates. So I think we're in a good position.
Thanks for watching the podcast so far. Now, I would like if you could just do me a little favour. Now, over 95% of you don't subscribe or follow this Salesforce Posse podcast, and it'd be great if you could just click the button so more people can find out about the podcast. And also that this podcast is sponsored by the amazing Nintex Salesforce Document Generation and Process Automation Company. Now, I've used their DocGen tool and recommended it to many companies over the years, and it allows me to create documents with ease, all without a single line of code, so that organizations can focus on what really matters. But with all that said, let's carry on with the podcast. On the reports and dashboard side, what were the kind of KPIs that the stakeholders were like, the aha moment, and KPIs or data that really change things?
I mean, from a KPI point of view, you've got to remember we went from nothing, as in no idea what it generated, to all of a sudden, we've got figures, we've got numbers. And it was interesting because we used to have an idea, like we would maybe, I remember years, this was 2014 it must have been, we completely rebuilt one of our websites, one of our main websites. We did a lot of stakeholder research with customers, completely redid the user experience, everything. Rebuilt that site, and within 3 months we noticed that the amount of business generated had gone up for that business. And I was like, well, that's proof, isn't it? But I remember the business coming back to me going, well, we don't know it was that. The sales team have been working really hard recently, it's probably that instead. So it's like, right, how do I prove this then? So for me, it wasn't so much a KPI from the business, it was more of me going, I need to be able to prove this. So it's finding ways to ensure that every lead opportunity we could track back to whatever activity it was. Now, we do get KPIs every year where effectively I can say, last year we generated this, that next year, let's improve it. How do we increase it by 10%, 15%, 20%, whatever it happens to be. But from the business side, I'd say it's actually not so much pressure from outside, it's more within the team itself of always trying to push ourselves and prove what we're doing is working.
In your methodology of trying different things, how do you, have you got like a fail fast mentality, try things, experiment, if it doesn't work, kick it out? Or is that basically?
Yeah, absolutely. We do A/B testing on most campaigns we do, be it emails where we're just testing things like subject lines. It could be the copy, it could be the imagery used. There's rarely a campaign that we do that doesn't have some sort of A/B test associated with it. Currently doing one on our pay-per-click advertising on Google, where we've decided to recreate entire landing pages for PPC only. So we've got our organic SEO pages, which do really well organically, but we've just built entire new ones for PPC where we're trying different things to see, just having a different page, different call to action, change.
How does that react to it?
Yeah. So we're always trying new things that way, just to see, is there another way to just make things improve by just 1%, 2%, 3%, whatever it's to be, because overall it makes a huge difference. So absolutely, and there's things we've tried that just haven't worked. Like But you don't need to talk about them, do you? Try it, that didn't work, let's move on. But that's how you learn. And I always say to the team, if we've done something and the result of it is that we know that didn't work, that's fine. That's a good test. Now we know.
Yeah, and this is what I kind of love about, because you get these two types of companies, right? You get the companies that allow people to fail and want them to fail 10 times, because they know that one that is a success is massive and totally gets rid of all the losses or whatever you have for the other 10, right? And on the other side, you've got we need to, I don't know, we'll go into committee and do that. And by the time you've done that idea just doesn't work anymore, right?
Absolutely. And I think in some respect we're quite lucky in marketing because a lot of what we do is very quick campaign based. It's we're going to do an advert, we're going to try something new. I mean, we've got in the team we had they're not so new anymore, but a few years ago they were quite new to the team, and we sort of challenged them and said, why don't you come up with a campaign for us? You're new to the business, you don't really know Close Brothers. Just come up with something that we've not thought of. And they came up with this great campaign which was based on superheroes, right. Really different from what we've done before. We thought, let's go with it. So we had a landing page, we had a choose your superpower, which was like the different products we had. And it worked really well. And it was something where we wouldn't really have come up with that within our team because we were too close to Close Brothers and how Close Brothers do things. Whereas these new guys came in and were just like, well, how about this? So we thought we'd go with it. But because it's marketing, we're not really, what we're testing isn't that important. It is important, but it's not that important. In fact, if it goes wrong, it doesn't matter. It's just because you can try it, and because we've got everything tracked, we could literally try an advert, and within a week we'll know if it's working or not. If it's working, getting loads of traffic but no conversions, stop it. But if it's getting no traffic, okay, let's adjust it. So it's things like that where we can try things and quickly turn them on and off quite quickly, just because the nature of what marketing is.
Okay, moving more into the kind of technology, you're using core Salesforce Pardot.
Yeah.
Now, you're moving into Experience Cloud?
Yes. So we've got 9 sites at the moment now on Experience Cloud, including a customer portal. We did that project a couple of years ago. We used to have all of our websites were sort of standalone on Drupal. Good platform, but it didn't work for us. They were all, each site was individual. This was kind of a big problem for us because we ended up spending a lot of time and a lot of budget on managing these sites.
Right.
Whereas on Experience Cloud, it's one system, all the sites are in there, sharing features, sharing content, and we can just have much more control over those sites. So we've got 9 there currently, we've got another 3 we're migrating this year, but it's worked out that we can do things a lot quicker, a lot more efficiently, and it's a lot cheaper too. So we're big fans of Experience Cloud.
Can you kind of walk us through like a dashboard that you would look at every Monday morning?
Yes. So we have, I have a dashboard. Well, I have 2. They're for my leads and they're my opportunities. And they're just marketing generated leads and marketing generated opportunities. And the way they're broken down is it's every lead that has come through the website. And every one of those leads has got UTMs associated with it.
Right.
So we have our source, our medium, our campaign. And that dashboard just shows me all of the leads split by month, by business unit, so who that lead's gone to, and how many of them are converted to opportunities. So I can see we generated, let's say, 10 leads, of which 5 have been converted to opportunities, and I can see which business unit they've gone to, and then have another dashboard which shows me opportunities, and I can see what stage those opportunities are in, and I can also, it flags to me if there's opportunities been sat in, say, stage 1 for a month, I can contact that business and go, what's going on here? Either this is going somewhere, move it forward, or it's not, close it, lost. But it means that we can see at a glance, and you say check every morning. What's coming in?
It's quite interesting actually at getting like almost marketing driving that I want you to close this opportunity off, right? And actually data quality and improvement on the sales side is actually you want to make sure that that's in there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that I'm very keen to the team as well. I mean, they always have a go at me. I'm always going on about my dashboard. Let's look at dashboard. But it's all there. The data's there, so we know what's working, what isn't. We know what's being converted. And if ever you notice that there's something stopping it, and it might be a particular team or a particular salesperson, someone might be on holiday. There might be opportunities sat with them
that somebody else could be taking it.
So it's things like that. So it's just making sure that we have sight of them. But absolutely, if it's effort that our team have gone to, is activity we've done to generate these leads, generate these opportunities, I want to make sure they're going somewhere. Because if we're generating leads and they're not going anywhere, is that because the lead itself wasn't actually any good, or is it because someone just hasn't picked them up? If it's the latter, then we need to change our the way we're targeting, the way we're advertising. If it's the former, then it's like, okay, well then we need to then speak to the sales team now to work out what's going on. How can we make that?
So how do you? I think a lot of companies, they're looking for the successful deals to come pull back to. This was a successful campaign. But how do you manage, or how do you use the data from lost opportunities to support your kind of campaigns?
Two parts really. So one, we have another dashboard, of course we do, which is all about closed opportunities. So it just looks at closed opportunities for what business unit they were closed for, what the closed reason was, because we have a drop down there, and we can start to see if there's any sort of patterns there, or if there's spikes for particular ones. But we can see if there is a particular channel is generating a lot of opportunities that are closed lost for a particular reason. We could almost look back at that channel and go, well, what's happening here? The other part of it is, and I do say to the team this quite a lot, is from a marketing point of view, we generate the leads. If that lead is deemed good enough to be converted to an opportunity, from a marketing point of view, I kind of feel like we've done our part of the process there. If the lead is good enough that there's an opportunity there, if that opportunity is now closed lost or closed won, obviously we prefer it to be closed won, but from a marketing point of view, we can't really control that. That's with the sales team. So I'm more interested in sort of the pipeline that we're generating, because if the leads come in to be converted to opportunity, then it must be good.
Yeah, and I think this is the thing that a lot of companies just don't understand. They're like, I'm going to go and buy a list and load it up into as leads, and the salespeople are like, yay, rubbish. Like, oh, we'll just get another list.
Yeah, we'll buy another list. We'll buy another list. Let's buy another list. Yeah, no, we've had those conversations before. I know where I sit on that side of the argument. I feel that if you're buying lists in, you're spending a lot of time, a lot of effort sifting through it before you might, and that's the problem, is you might find one. You might have bought a list of 10,000 and you find one, and there's some people who go, well, that wasn't worth the effort and time then. But the other people go, but there was one.
Which paid for everything.
Let's buy another 10,000 because there might be another one, and it's like, oh, okay. So it does take a lot of time and effort on those ones. But no, I'm very much let us do target advertising. Let us do events like this. Like we do a lot of events at Close Brothers where we can go, right, this event is aimed at manufacturers or aimed at construction or aimed at transport, and you know your relevant customers are gonna be there. I'm happy for things like that. I think that works really well. That's kind of where our USP is, because our sales guys are experts in their field. But I do think buying lists has never really worked for us personally.
Honestly, all the companies I work for, I've never seen lists work.
Yeah, it's not one I'm an advocate for, definitely.
Yeah, still don't get it. But anyway, okay, so shifting gears a little bit.
Okay.
AI.
Yep.
Hype or useful?
I'd say useful, actually.
Yeah.
I think I did. Not for us right now. I'm reading up a lot of the hype, but no, I think it's how it's used, right? It's a tool at the end of the day. I think the whole content creation, image creation, video creation, that's the hype. I think that can be a waste of time. I think it's
not of a good enough quality to be used?
It's not good enough quality. It's copying existing content that's already out there and trying to adjust it and change it. And if you've got AI writing you a blog, it has got that information from other blogs it's already read. But if enough AI does that, eventually you're going to have AI reading AI blogs that are and it's just...
They've shown, actually, that the regurgitation of AI just kills AI, right? Because it just ends up just
so for that, I'm like, I don't think that is really what it should be used for, and I don't think that really that's what it was intended for. I think if you're using it for idea creation, if you're saying, I want to write a blog about a certain subject, but I'm not really sure what to do, AI gives you some subject titles. I'm like, oh, great, okay, you can use that and work with it. But I do think that it has to have the human elements, the marketing team coming in, the actual creative people, I think, has to be there. I think where AI will probably come into its own, though, is things like analysis. I mean, I'm talking about dashboards earlier, about looking at those numbers, working out what's working. If I've got AI, I can just go to it and go, AI, and
ask the question, bang,
there's the answer. That I can definitely see potential for. I also think I saw one, I think it was one of the agent forces, from a customer service point of view. Customer, puts a query in, the customer service team can, in theory, get all the information they need about that customer by just asking a few questions to the agent. So I think it has potential. Where we are right now, close with us, we're probably a bit risk averse, I'd say, with things like this. Saying that though, I've got 3 people on the marketing team. I'm currently on a year-long course around how to use AI and how to utilise it for marketing. So I think there's definitely benefits for it, but from what I've seen, the main benefits are things that can help with analysis of data, if there's a current process that can improve or make it quicker. But in terms of actual creation of content or imagery, video, I'm not sold on that personally. I think that's a waste
I
of
think
time.
also it has complications, right? I think, especially for financial services, right? Because regulatory, you're always behind what the tech is, right?
Yeah.
And I think being risk averse is probably, a good standpoint at the moment. Because I was like even talking to somebody else around actually financial services industry or banks, etc., have a duty of care for their customers, right? Yeah. So therefore, if you're using AI, and AI can determine if this customer has a gambling problem based on their transaction history or way of spending, for example, if you're kind of a commercial bank, then does the bank have a duty of care for that customer to notify them or some organisation to support them?
Well, I mean, that's a big question.
I know, exactly. And this is why we were like, oh, wow. I think, but then by the use of it in marketing, are you implicating that in the rest of the business?
I mean, you're right. We're a financial institution, so we do have certain things that we do. We do have checks to make sure customers aren't vulnerable. And
exactly.
It's all
we have
specialists who deal with them. So it would fall into that. I guess if there's a way that AI can flag if someone is vulnerable quicker, get it to the right team, absolutely. I think that's fine. In terms of what
level do you go, right?
Yeah,
it's weird, isn't it? It's like, how far do you go with it? And I think this is the question I've got in my head. It's like, and also AI could quite easily just decide for itself that person's vulnerable when they're not, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like,
actually, that's the thing where I think it has to be accurate. And
absolutely,
I can't remember where it was, but I read somewhere that they were doing checks on like Google and things where you could do a search and an AI prompt comes up, and it was only correct like 30% of the time. It makes stuff up, but it makes it up in such a way that it sounds like it's real.
Credible. That's the danger, right?
So I think for anything like that, like I said, we're risk averse, so we're not going to use it for anything like that anytime soon. And if we do start using it, it's because we'll have tested it to an
absolutely,
so we know it's going to be accurate. Because you're right, you can't. The risk would be making people who aren't vulnerable classed as vulnerable, but the other flip side was, what if someone's vulnerable and it doesn't class as vulnerable and tells them, no, it's fine, lend them more money, it's okay. It's things like that where you kind of need to have, sometimes you just need to have someone's eyes cast on it just to be certain.
And there's governance and processes around it for the effective use of AI, right?
Absolutely.
To benefit all. So with your digital communities rollout, you kind of spoke a bit about the improvement of speed of making changes within that, or pages. Can you give examples of some of the benefits you had? A bit more concrete examples, I suppose.
Within Experience Builder?
Yeah.
Sure. So, I mean, I mentioned we're doing this test at the moment for these PPC landing pages. So these are completely new pages, new templates, new content, much longer pages than we usually have for, we'll have a page, so the test we're doing is for agriculture.
Right.
We have some pay-per-click PPC adverts that if you go to Google, type in keywords around agriculture finance, we have an advert here. Moment it takes you to our standard organic agriculture page. It's fine, it's got information on how we work with agriculture customers, the sort of assets that we would fund for farming, tractors, combiners, that sort of stuff. It then has information on the products we offer, and then it has like a section that goes, these are events or news and insights that we have around agriculture. Pretty simple, pretty basic. Every industry page is pretty much the same structure. The PPC one, we've gone, actually, what does Google want to look for? So this page is kind of been built with Google in mind, on the basis that if Google thinks your page is relevant to that keyword, it puts you higher up, it gives it cheaper cost per click. So this page talks a lot more in depth around the different types of assets. It talks around the farming sort of community, the industry. It's got testimonials in there. It's got lots more content. It's a much longer page. Now, for organically, it's probably too long because it's so big a page, it might not work organically. But for PPC, it does. So what we've done is Amy and my team has effectively for the last month worked on this project of creating these pages, working with the comms team to create the content, the design to create the imagery, and then building those pages. but we've not had to go outside. There's no agency here. There's no one we've had to go to develop anything. All of the components are there. But if you were to look at one page versus the original page, they're so worlds apart. It just shows what we can do with that system. So that's one way. The other way is in our division, in the commercial division. So in November, just gone, the marketing there was 2 marketing teams, one in asset finance, one in invoice finance. These are just 2 parts of the business. They've now been brought together to be the commercial marketing team. And the websites that were on the invoice side of the business were on Drupal. We're now migrating them onto Salesforce. So we've done 3 websites so far, and we've got another 3 due the rest of this year. And we've just done that within the team. And actually building that site literally takes a few days to do. It's then just migrating content. And then you build the next one and you just migrate content. So we've just done this all in-house, all within the team. No external agency, no development, and the costs haven't changed because our license cost gives us the CMS license, which gives us up to 100 workspaces, and it's usually 1 workspace to 1 website. So it's fine that way. So by having an experience builder, we've been able to effectively increase the number of websites we have on that platform, reducing our costs, and we've been able to build entire new templated pages that are, look very different from what we usually have, just in-house, just within the skills we have within the team, without having to put any cost whatsoever against them.
Cool. So I've talked to other people in podcasts around these kind of citizen developers where you're giving control over to your team to develop, create and everything else. Have you seen any kind of blockers around actually they're increasing tech debt or they're duplicating things that they shouldn't have? Or is it very much we're just pushing pages out?
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're creating new tech in, like adding new features that way. It's you sort of using the features you already have, but the way we built it was that a feature, like let's say it was a component on the website, when you add a component, you can choose, do you want this 1 column all the way up to 8 column? What background color, or is it background image? What is this text, is it image? Where's it? You can do so much with it that it kind of has so many variations that you're not really adding new features. The feature's there. It's just.
So do you feel that you get better brand alignment then with your team doing it rather than outsourcing it?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So then you get the speed.
Oh, the speed.
Even just on that, right?
Yeah, the speed is massive. The cost has dropped. So those are the 2 main things. But in terms of brand, absolutely, because we've got in-house, we've got our own design team anyway. We've got 2 designers. So they can look at they usually, the way it works is we would sort of brief in what we're trying to do. So we'd have sit around a table, this is the campaign or this is what we're trying to achieve. And then the designers would almost draw up a mock-up of what that page could look like, and we sort of reiterate back and forth until we've got it down of an image, a static image of what that page is. And then my team build that page by just dragging and dropping the components onto it and then taking the elements they need to from the design team. So it's always on brand, so that's not a problem at all. But the main thing is speed definitely, because it used to be we'd have to put a ticket in, someone have to pick it up, maybe even quote us, come back, get that approved, go back, there's a few iterations, it could take months. Whereas this way, literally, we could, you could in theory build a page within days, and that's including brand new content.
And that definitely just allows you to experiment more, try more things, fail more, it's great,
Because that's what I'm saying earlier. If we're creating new pages or we're creating new campaigns and it doesn't work, it doesn't matter because we haven't really spent anything. We've spent time on it, but we've learned from it. So it's it just makes it a lot easier to try things like that. Like I say, these PPC landing pages, we're doing it for agriculture first. If this works, we just roll this out across all the other industries that we work on, and it's like a pilot on one industry. If it works, we do it for all of them.
Start small. If it wins, iterate.
Exactly. If it doesn't, fine. We tried it, but at least we know.
Exactly. Cool. Well, brilliant. Thanks so much. It's been fascinating talking.
It's been really fun. That.
It's cool. But there is one last question.
Oh, okay.
One last question that I ask everybody.
Okay.
And that is, if you could wind the clock back to a point in your past and give yourself some advice, what would it be?
Do you know what? I'd probably, if we're talking career-wise, I got into marketing. I kind of fell into it. I went to college, I went to university, I had a certain career that I wanted to do, and then I just fell into marketing and went, that's amazing. So I think I would go back and go, actually, start doing marketing sooner, get a degree in marketing. Just because I've really enjoyed, I've done it for almost 20 years now, And I think that's something I'd say to my younger self is get into marketing earlier.
But then maybe the fact that you didn't go to the university to do marketing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Do I want to play, what is it, butterfly effect?
The butterfly, exactly.
Maybe I do, and I don't know. So I don't know. But yeah, no, I don't think there's. I mean, other than go back and buy shares in Amazon or Google and stuff like that.
Salesforce.
But no, I think I think that would be the only thing is I'd have liked to have got into this industry a bit sooner than I did. I think, but no.
Well, brilliant. Well, thanks a lot, Jon, for being on the Salesforce Posse Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Cool.